So this is my first vlog ever, actually. This is for my global learning project. It's my initial reflection and plan, so I'm going to get started on that. My culture would best be described as white, middle-class America. It's nothing special. Like growing up, I always had like the expectation that I would get good grades and that I would, do my best. I got my first letter grade in like 5th grade, and from then on, my parents were like, you need to be doing well, you need to get on your grades, you need to keep up with them. If you miss an assignment, you need to like know what it is and where you're gonna find time to do it. I feel like that was really similar, like across like my entire school, especially kids that fit the same demographic that I do, like white, middle class. I think that most people in my area, their families expected them to get good grades and to do well in school. Almost all the kids from my high school and my graduating class went to college when they graduated. There were a lot of students continuing on, and I feel like that's just kind of a part of where we were. One thing that I guess would set me apart maybe is that I have 2 moms, so like feminism and like equality was always really big growing up. From like a very young age, I was really little. My parents made sure that I knew I could do anything that a man could do, and that was just kind of like a huge aspect of my life when I was a little girl. I feel like there are a lot of kids that like don't have that, and I feel like that's something that would be like different as far as like a different culture and a different way of looking at education. I know a lot of students, not from my area in particular, but like just in general, there are a lot of kids that are the first generation of their family to graduate high school, or even to go to college, to graduate college. There are a lot of kids that have parents that don't care if they go to college, if they don't, if they graduate high school, if they don't, if they're a dropout, that's their fault. So I feel like I'm very lucky in the way I was raised. I had a lot of support from my family, so I'm very grateful for that. So as far as like my partner, I'm working with Alexander. I don't know much about him. I know his name's Alexander, that's pretty much it, and he's in my class. He seems super nice. I'm really excited to work with him. I don't know anything about him, so like I don't feel like I can say whether or not he'll be similar or different from me in terms of like culture and like views on education, is what his family thinks about like education, what they expect of him, what he expects of himself. I'm really not sure. It could go one way where it's like similar to me, or it could go another way where he has a totally different cultural background, and I'm really not sure which way it's going to go. I'm really excited to find out. I think right now our plan is just to find out what our differences are, and then kind of like play off of those. I hope that there's something we find, at least one thing we find that's really different about us and about our views on education, or like what our family thought about our education. I'm hoping we can kind of like base our project off of that, because there is a potential that he'll be very different. There's also a potential he'll be very similar. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. Next plan of action is probably to text him after I finish this video. And hopefully we can get like the ball rolling and really immerse ourselves in like the differences between us, and I'm really excited to see what he has to show me, and I'm still trying to think of stuff that I can show him about my culture and about my family, but I think it's going to go super well, and I'm super excited to work with him.